Like a trusted turnout jacket you've had for years, Flex 7 outer shell fabric delivers a perfectly broken-in feel on the very first wear. Flexible, comfortable, and powered with the strength of Enforce technology, Flex 7 outer shell fabric is made to move. To learn more, visit tenkatafabrics.com/flex7. Flex 7, powered by Enforce technology. Only from Tenkata Protective Fabrics.
Breathing in diesel exhaust fumes is like walking into a fire without a mask. Over time, those toxins lead to cancer. Protect yourself with MagnaGrip, the easiest, most reliable exhaust removal system that features a true 100% seal to eliminate diesel exhaust fumes. To get free grant assistance, visit magnagrip.com.
IFSTA's Essentials of Firefighting 8th edition pairs trusted content with their latest research and includes a full suite of support products. Everything you've come to expect from IFSTA and more. It's essential content with unlimited customization potential. To learn more about this manual releasing in August of 2024, visit ifsta.org/essentials.
Welcome to Sons of the Flag Radio, brought to you by Fire Engineering Blog Talk Radio. A brief overview of Sons of the Flag, founded in 2012, was originally designed just to support one burn survivor, and Sons of the Flag has turned into a non-profit organization that's fully committed to revolutionizing burn care for veterans, first responders, and civilians. By providing innovative research, fellowships for doctors to further their training in treating burn survivors, and support for those impacted by traumatic burns. Sons of the Flag stands at the forefront of advancing burn technologies and advancements in surgical procedures, and we address needs for every age group, ethnicity, and geographic location within the United States. And to that end, Sons of the Flag brings together pioneering physicians who are leaders in their field, experienced military service members, dedicated first responders, passionate civilians, and burn survivors to help us complete this mission. And with that being said, we have our Tres Amigos, the three amigos is what we calling us. If it's Ted Lasso, we'd be the Diamond Dogs, right?
Yeah. I'm up for that. We got to come up with a cool name.
I'm telling you, man. I'm Justin. This is Landon, and then we have the warrior himself, Zack, down there.
Zack Sutterfield.
What is up, y'all?
Again, this is Sons of the Flag Radio. If you want to find out anything else about Sons of the Flag, you can go to www.sonsoftheflag.org. Look us up on all social media at Sons of the Flag. You can find out about events, joining the task force, anything and everything, how to give. We got a list of where your dollars go whenever you do give. And again, the most important thing is events, being involved with us, and how do you help us take our next step. And then you got great and beautiful pictures of Zack and his mom DJ on there.
Heck yeah.
I think Landon's
Family resource
beautiful photos there.
I need a new one up there. I think it was a lot smaller then. So
Yeah.
need to fix that.
Yeah, I'm not touching that
I think it's
one.
actually just a headshot.
Yeah. It's more like a criminal profile, but hey. No, glad to have you guys back. Glad to be with you all.
This is a bit of a change of scenery. We usually do Zoom, but we are doing a bunch of different interviews today, building some social media content, and that's why we got Zack in town. So we figured that we would all get together and
sit in Victorian furniture.
And shit in Victorian.
Yes.
Sit in Victorian furniture.
You nailed it.
My bad.
You got it. You got it.
Sit in Victorian furniture at the new office.
The super comfortable furniture that it is.
Yeah, Zack on that.
Yeah, Zack has the most comfortable chair ever.
The man spread chair.
Yeah, the man
spreading chair.
The one with the most injuries has the most uncomfortable chair. Like I'm sitting cush myself. But
we got to treat him like one of us. Okay.
Yeah.
Got to treat him like one of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be uncomfortable.
No, it's been a month since we got together last. Our last time was a Zoom call. It's always great to see you guys face to face.
100%.
No, I just want to kind of talk about some stuff that's kind of coming up. I think we need to highlight a few things.
Yeah, we got a lot of events coming up. This
is a lot of very exciting stuff.
Summer's usually like our downtime, but man, we've been
wrong again.
Yeah.
Not only we have rain and storms here in the great state of Texas, we're also loading this place up with events. But kind of talk about some stuff that Zack's kind of got going on.
Yes.
And then want to kind of highlight a few things that I learned this past week. through a meeting with the Texas Fire Commissioners and some kind of startling statistics, especially related to the fire service in Texas alone. So with that being said, kind of, Zach, what do you got going, dude?
We got a trip going up to Utah here coming soon. It's for the Utah Air Gun competition. We're going to go out there, spread some Suns message. We also got a golf tournament that we're hosting in my hometown of San Angelo, Texas. So
That's right.
we're going to hit the ground running when we come back and get some mom and pop. And it's hopefully going to be a help local sort of thing. So we're super duper stoked about that. Burn Survivor and Burn Buddy meetings the first Wednesday of every month. So it's another thing that we're doing and just getting super excited about that as well. Just kind of everything's coming to fruition and we're getting everything situated. So it's been pretty exciting stuff.
Dive into the golf deal. So I just learned about this on our last bi-weekly call. Tell us a little bit about the golf tournament that's coming up.
So yeah, it's through the SAFD San Angelo Fire Department. The head of the firefighters union there and then the chief of the firefighters kind of came to us and said, hey, we're putting on a golf tournament fundraiser and we want Sons of the Flag to be the beneficiary. So we got 18 teams. It's $150 per person, nice. $500 per team. We're going to start going out locally and seeing about some mom and pop venues. We got some coffee businesses that are going to keep our golfers caffeinated throughout the whole day, so that's awesome. We got a few food trucks that are going to pull up there and give us some wonderful food. So we're hoping that we can just come together as a community, raise some money for burn survivors, for making sure that they can be taken care of in the best possible way, and just have a great camaraderie of maybe some fire education in our local firefighters. So
absolutely,
yeah, it should be wonderful.
Well, and it's your hometown, so that's
yeah,
nice, that's super cool that you're actually able to do something there.
We're very excited. We've talked, we've thrown around it along for a while, just the idea of getting fire safety and Sons of the Flag in San Angelo, Texas. So it's very nice that we're going to be able to bring what we do for a living to our little old tiny oil field, cotton field town. So
and you won't have to drive up here for it.
Yeah, it'd be wonderful.
So real quick, I know very little about it. Zach, tell us about, so the reason that Zach and DJ came into town is that there is a burn conference tomorrow that's being hosted in Dallas. What all do you know about the burn conference? Have you been there before?
I've been there before. It's kind of a come together meeting for burn survivors. There's different talking points and everybody has different meetings. I believe I'll be hosting a meeting talking about defining your own success post-injury, finding who you are post-injury, and not letting what happened to you define you, but you defining it. So it'll be just a group of burn survivors. I think there's a few hundred of us, and we're going to be sitting down, going to meetings, talking about how we as burn survivors live our best life, helping each other out, finding community, and offering a little bit of support too. So it's going to be a really exciting day. I'm pretty stoked about it. I know it's going to be a good time, just seeing some old friends and some wonderful faces. So it should be wonderful. I think it's put on by the Texas Burn Survivor Society. So, just wonderful, great people. And I believe it's also sponsored by the Phoenix Society. So should be a pretty exciting day. I'm super stoked.
Landon and I were talking earlier, when a burn injury happens like this, you're getting a new lease on life, right? God has another plan for you. That's my firm belief. And conferences like this, organizations like this are hugely important to the recovery process. Not just for you, but for the families too. And I think that's one of the things that is unique. We talk about going to our website and being involved with Sons of the Flag, but organizations such as this are instrumental in the overall healing process of everyone involved, right?
Yes.
And I think it's absolutely astonishing. We were talking about you earlier and just the progression that we've seen with your growth over the years, and now that's why I called you the warrior earlier. I truly believe that you are the warrior. Like you don't get a choice. You are a damn warrior.
The battle scars are there, man.
I appreciate that.
And I think that your message, and burn survivors alike, the message that you guys have is huge, because what you're telling people in life that there's more to it.
Yes.
It's not done, and that's just every day, right? Whether you have some sort of disability or whatever it may be, or some small injury or large injury, or if you just don't give a shit for the day,
Yeah.
right? There's something bigger in life. And so seeing you guys kind of at the forefront leading this charge, I mean, y'all are destined to change the world. And I firmly believe that. We were talking about Sons of the Flag earlier.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I still stand proudly by is the mission at Sons, but it's not just the mission, it's the people that make up Sons.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
We're just an organization.
Yeah.
The people make the organization, right? And so knowing that we're in San Angelo now,
Yes.
I mean, if you don't know where San Angelo is, open up your globe and look at or a map. It's a little bitty dot in far west Texas,
Yes.
right there.
Middle of nowhere.
Middle of nowhere, you know, so you might get lost. It's like Radiator Springs in cars,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Lightning McQueen gets lost there.
It's the tiniest little town, but it's definitely home for us. And you know, we've tossed around the idea and we've thought about it for a long time, and we've wanted to be able to bring Sons of the Flag, what we do, you know, our love for firefighters to our hometown, because I have a lot of love for San Angelo. You know, it's a tiny little town in the middle of nowhere, but
Yeah.
they've been so good to us, and that's where I grew up. And so this is going to be the first one of many more, hopefully to come, of just fundraisers, spreading some fire safety, raising some money for burn survivors, and it's a golf tournament. You know, who doesn't love a good golf tournament with food and coffee and all sorts of good stuff being brought around? So it's going to be a pretty exciting weekend. We're very, very stoked.
And what weekend is it?
It is going to be the weekend of September 11th.
September 11th. So
Yes, that
if you're in the
weekend.
area, mark it down.
Yeah.
Be a good commemorative weekend also.
Yes.
But also, again, firefighters, you know, bond together and support such a great cause. So.
Yes, we're going to have our fire trucks out there. There's going to be a big American flag over the golf course that day.
Right.
Yeah, rock on. It's
Heck
going to
yeah.
be such a good day.
Heck yeah. So with the fire conference tomorrow, I want to talk about burn buddies for a little bit. So
Yeah.
I was interviewing Zack earlier, and you know, I've never been on one of the burn buddies meetings, but they've expanded a lot, and you've gotten a lot of new people in. Tell us a little bit about the burn buddies, just in case there's anybody out there who would be
Absolutely.
interested in jumping on and what y'all discuss, and you know, you're building this young community.
Well, that's just it. It is community, and I think when you're burned to the extent of me, or even lesser burns, it's just kind of a new world. And so it's finding community and people who understand you, who know the pains of burns, who understand what it's like to go through the rehabilitation process. And it's also finding a brotherhood and sisterhood in people that just understand you. One of the beautiful things is we have people from all over the states, from San Antonio up to Washington State, up to New York, who come and call in, and it's sometimes 10 people, it's sometimes 4, sometimes it's just one burn brother who's just having a hard day. And so it's just an extension of what we do here in Sons, but it's providing community for people who just may need it, who maybe need a little pick-me-up from their brothers and sisters across the states who say, you're not alone in this.
Yeah.
You know, all my burn brothers and burn sisters have my number, and so they're having a hard day, they call, and we hop on, and we get a little bit of community together. And so it's really nice. It's very rewarding to come together as a single unit and, you know, not let the burns define us, but we define it.
Mm-hmm.
When y'all are sharing so much different information, like you mentioned during the interview, even though y'all have all gone through this, still you each have your own individual experiences with what you've had to go through, and you know, even just like you mentioned, like the tying the shoes and what kind of shoes can you get, and y'all are sharing this information and really helping each other, you know, things that maybe the other person hasn't never thought about. And you're gathering these groups to be able to. I'd be super interested to see if y'all can't write some documents on this stuff, man, because y'all have to have some great information about how y'all get through it.
Well, we know the right guy to do it. Mr. English major here.
English major over here.
Oh, I feel the bus coming.
Pass this man some work.
It's just wonderful too, because there's so many things that you know as a burn survivor that, for me particularly, there's lotions that I love that are very good for me. A burn survivor friend of mine reached out and said, hey, I don't know if you're aware of this, but there's a brand of shirts that are UV protectant. Fishermen wear them when they go out fishing, and it's just like wearing sunscreen. And so, you know, these are the things that, even the shoes that I'm wearing today are slip-ins that, you know, I'm a double amputee. Sometimes it's hard to use these hands. Other burn survivors have atrophied fingers that, you know, it's very difficult to tie their shoes. So it's offering support, but it's also offering just a little bit of guidance and things that you've gone through. I like to say you build a path forward for the people behind you, and that is so indicative of the burn survivor life. We've all gone through our own path. we've all trudged along and forged our way. So we've picked up little things that have helped us a lot. And, maybe I can help you in a specific way and show you that, hey, it's A-okay. I'm almost 6 years out from my burn injury, and I'm living my best life. Let me show you the ropes and help you in the ways that I wish I would have known back then.
Yeah.
Well, imagine this is your first, you're just now getting into this long ass journey.
Yes,
and
yes.
You got this group of people that are like, hey man, I know some fucking information that's gonna help you get along the way,
Yes, yeah, and that's the other thing too, is that there is just such a wealth of information. We have burn survivors who were burned in their 20s and now they're in their 40s going, hey, I wish I would have put more sunscreen on because, I'm dealing with, my skin being irritated, or it's just not. And so it's also just learning from the people behind us. We stand on the shoulders of giants, and the people that came before us have built the path, and so we're just learning from them, creating a beautiful and wonderful life today with the information that we get from the people behind us.
Yeah.
And so it's just creating that and learning from each other and just offering a little bit of support. It's just wonderful.
That's so cool, man.
Yeah.
And your mother's doing one too, and
Yes. Mom's been kicking butt. She has been the family resource coordinator, and she has been instrumental in helping some burn survivors just find a little bit of footing. We had a conversation not too long ago with a firefighter's wife, and he was, injured pretty badly, about 30% burns, and the wife is just terrified, worried about everything, and Mom is just there to say, hey, it's okay. I got you. Here's my number. You need me day and night, I'm here, you call me. And so for the burn survivors, gets off a little bit of support. But, my mom, DJ, is there for those family members who are confused, who are, sleep deprived, who haven't eaten. And she's reminding them, it's important to take care of yourself. Mm-hmm. You still need to eat. You still need to do things for yourself. And, I think that she does an amazing job at giving the burn survivor families a little bit of levity just to be able to breathe, just to be able to know that they're not alone. And, she's my mom, so I can go on and on about her, but I know she'll listen to this, and I don't want to make her head too big now.
Yeah. No, I think it's important, you hit kind of two things there. Education, right? Learning from past issues or past mistakes, whatever you want to call it, but also community.
Yes.
Building that level of community, that is hugely, hugely important.
Yeah.
Right? Education alone is, vitally important, but having that community, that network, those reliances that you have, that you've built up, that's important, and I think if y'all haven't met DJ yet, she's a pistol. And let me tell you,
she's incredible.
You want stuff done, I'm gonna tell you straight up, she's gonna get it done. And I think DJ, I'm going to speak on her now. Like you said, we're going to inflate her head a little bit more, but she has literally been able to move mountains.
Yes.
And we've seen it with you. We've seen it with your dad.
Yes.
Your mom wore a huge load, and let me tell you, there's no one that's stronger, I don't think, than her. And, for her to be a resource or an asset to somebody that's going through a similar situation as you, dude, you couldn't have a stronger team.
She is. I love to tell people that I don't know where I'd be without my mama.
Yeah.
She was the reason that I'm here, the reason I have hands, the reason that I live a really good life. And so I'd say to any family members of burn survivors that happen to be listening, don't be afraid to reach out. She loves offering guidance. She loves offering support. That's what she's here for, and that's what I'm here for. So, our numbers and our contact information is on Sun's page. Feel free to reach out to both of us. We'd love to talk with you. We'd love to grab a cup of coffee. Just know that you're not alone, and you got family in Texas, in the middle of nowhere, Cottonfield, Texas. You got family.
Because I'm not gonna lie, when y'all were in here recording, I got some stories.
Did you know?
I got some stories.
That's one of the things that I know I'm gonna miss out on. Since I'm interviewing everybody, and y'all are hanging. I was telling Sherry, I was like, hang out in the conference room, get everybody comfortable. I know I'm missing out.
She embarrassed me with the
stuff.
stories.
Oh, dude. All I can say is that your constitutional rights. Is all I know.
I do. I know it's my constitutional right to refuse service. Okay?
Yes. They would find Zack on the floor refusing to be, treated because he didn't want to be there and he knew his constitutional rights. And
almost like a magician, like Harry Houdini, my mom would pop out from the corners, and me, Mr. Nubs over here, trying to scramble to stand up before mom comes over. I'm just like a worm on the ground trying my best, and she's like, Zach, you said you get your ass up right now.
Yeah.
You are giving these nurses hell.
You got no constitutional rights when your mom's in the room.
No, yeah, you've
She's
lost
like, I have
all
a
rights.
power of attorney. You have no rights.
Yeah, that stuff goes out the fucking
While
window.
we're talking about the hospital, though, you told us a story earlier. I think everybody needs to hear the story.
Oh, yeah.
About the double amputee and your dad.
It's harsh.
Dude.
It's so funny, and God rest his soul. It was one of those things that to his last day he laughed about, but at the hospital. So it's important that the precursor to this, it's important to know that my dad, when he served overseas, he was exposed to a chemical agent, so he could not, if he wanted to, donate blood or skin or anything. To me, it was just a constant running joke that, yeah, my dad wouldn't even donate blood to me. And I thought it was the funniest thing in the world. And so the outpatient clinic from Brooke Army Medical Center is called the Center for the Intrepid, the CFI. And that's where you go to get your prosthetics, your equipment, you learn how to walk again. And I'll never forget, I met this, I think he was an Army Ranger, a Green Beret. He was rolling in a wheelchair, and on the back of his wheelchair it said, "No weak shit." Just an awesome dude.
Yeah.
And we had gone through therapy together, and we were rolling out, and we were sharing stories, and my dad was there, and bright-eyed, big, smiley, he looks at me and goes, "How's your day, son?" And I look over to this Green Beret, this Army Ranger, and I said, "You know, this guy wouldn't even donate blood to me." And this man looked at my dad, the no weak shit sticker on the back of his wheelchair, and he said, "You, sir, are a dick." And just rolled off. And to this day, I had never seen the guy again. To this day, he thinks my dad is the worst person in the world.
Oh my God.
And if you're listening, sir, it was a joke. It was a bad joke.
You just put your dad on blast.
Oh my
I did.
God.
Not even mentioning the fact that he couldn't if he wanted
If
to.
he couldn't, if he wanted to. And, my dad was one of the reasons that we were able to do so much is that he worked hard. He went back to work Monday through Friday, drove up Friday night, left Sunday afternoon. And so that man juggled everything. He's also the reason that I have health insurance. Like, he fought with so much paperwork to make sure I was able to deal with stuff. So, shout out, Dad, if you're listening beyond the grave. We really appreciate you, and I'm so sorry.
He's looking down. He's like, I still can't believe you told him that.
He's laughing. Oh my God. Oh Lord.
It's so dark.
It's pretty dang funny.
No, that's one of the things that I think is beautiful about your family alone. I mean, even just meeting your dad is y'all's comedic approach to life.
Oh,
It's huge, man. And you gotta laugh. You gotta enjoy it because it's over too quick. And
Yeah, if you can't laugh at it, if you're able to laugh at it, you take all the power away from it.
Yeah.
I love to laugh at, I was an English major and I wanted to be nothing more than a writer. I lost my hands.
Yeah.
I couldn't write. Is there any greater irony than that?
Yeah.
So if you're not able to laugh at it, then it's just going to eat at you. And if you're
Yeah.
able to laugh at it, you take that power away, and it just makes you that much stronger.
And
Well,
I'm
you
gonna
can
tell you.
certainly turn the phrase. So
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna let you know. Zach is very quick-witted too. He'll get you. He'll get you before you know it. So
Yeah.
if you're dealing with him and you think you're gonna get him, he's gonna take it up to the next level. I promise you.
Just during the interview, I'm asking him all these different questions, and just so I can get some social media content. And he's coming out with these one-liners, and I'm just sitting there like, how the hell did you think about that one? It's like, where did you piece, what multiple books did you piece that book
Yeah.
together? Like,
Well, I appreciate that now, y'all. You're
I'm
making
gonna search.
making my
I'm
head
actually
too
gonna
big.
search for these quotes. I'm gonna throw them in Google and be like actual
quotation, stand on shoulder of giants.
The funny thing is, he wanted my interview to be over with. He was like, "All right, here we go, knuckle dragger fire, bring in the articulate one." Yeah.
Stop it. There. Go.
Yeah.
There. Go.
Laying his knuckles are sore like mine, dragging them across the ground.
That's facts. I just put this stuff up. That's all.
No, these are Landon's chairs. We're so thankful he brought these to us.
Well, my
today.
dad was
Yeah.
a preacher, so I figured I'd break into the
Yeah.
church and grab some. So.
Very grateful. Thank you for your grandma for upholstering it.
Yeah, yeah.
These actually probably do look like some chairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, no doubt.
No, we've been talking about a couple of the conferences and stuff coming up, and I brought this up to Landon earlier. I was talking to Sherry and DJ about it out there in the conference room, and I kind of want to get back to the serious note real quick. You know, Sons of the Flag, Burn Foundation, and you know, this is obviously fire engineering podcast, right, and on Blog Talk Radio. But I just sat through. We're in Texas, by the way, so everybody else that's probably listening, yeah, you know, y'all have y'all's different standards, and it's all good. But I was listening to our Texas State Fire Commissioners on the TCFP, and they gave us an alarming statistic the other day that just in 2023 alone, I think it was a 41% increase in firefighter burns. And I might be a little bit wrong on the number. Either way, it's increased significantly. And, you know, the conversation is right now, is it the gear we're wearing? Is it, you know, is it because of COVID that the gear manufacturers have changed some stuff? They lessened it just to get it back out there? Because for a long time we had I think I had one lead time on gear that was almost 16 months just to get new gear.
Wow.
And thankfully my company that I use, I think we're back down to 3 months. But beside the point, you know, is it because of the gear that we're having? You know, is that why we're seeing an increase in burns? Not just injuries, we're talking about burns. Mm-hmm. And injuries are a whole different thing. You know, we can talk about that later on, but burns was the alarming thing. And they have some theories behind it. You know, the other thing is, is it tactics based? Is it education based? Is it experience based? You know, I'm gonna be interested when the data actually comes out, what the true data is telling us, right? What part of the state, what stage of the fire was it in? What were the tactics at the time? What were the task levels? But I think it's just an alarming rate that it reinforces the reason why this organization's here is for us in the fire service alone, right? You know, we've talked about it several times before. It was terribly ironic that one of our guests ended up being burned a couple weeks later in a fire. Yes, yeah. And it just shows the realism of this job, and it shows what this organization's truly designed to do. It's there. It was one of our guys, right? He worked for a department in another state, but he was one of our task force members. So it affected us. And, you know, just to know that this stuff is still out there, we're seeing the increases in burns. And again, I don't know if it's experience. I don't know. There's so many what ifs.
Yeah.
We don't have the
factors.
Data. Yeah, we can sit here and argue all day long, you know, what the factors are. I have my personal opinion, but again, I'm just going off pure assumption alone. So
that's just such a massive jump, man.
It is
such a massive jump.
And I'd be curious to see what the rest of the nation looks like. When it comes to injuries. And like I said, we're not breaking it down from first to second or third. We're not looking at anything like that. It's just burn injuries. And that's burn injuries that are leading to lost time.
Yes.
So that tells you it's at least a second degree burn if it's leading to lost time.
And you know, so my buddy Kelvin, I've known him since middle school, and I love that you used the word serendipitous recently, you know, during our interview. I said the same thing to my mom. Recently, I was like, you never get to hear that word now. But,
research the thesaurus before we ever talk again. I swear to God.
But so
I'm going to counter everything he has.
He was a rescue swimmer in the Navy. He's currently a firefighter in Fort Worth. He's also a rescue swimmer for the Fort Worth Fire Department or diver, whatever they do. You would know better. But he started, whenever I started working with Sons of the Flag, he moved from California, became a firefighter here. Funnily enough, his birthday is the day before Birdman's.
Oh, nice.
And they still never met. And I'm like, how the hell have y'all not met? But anyways, whenever he first became a firefighter, he was pushing into a fire, and something happened with his helmet, and it just burnt his ear. And I the blister was just massive. And so and it was, again, like my first year working with Sons of the Flag, so I got some of the stuff that we had there, took it over there to help him out. But even just that, like he had to be on leave for a little bit because of the injury, because then he has to get looked at and all that kind of stuff. And it's like even the minor burns that our firefighters are getting, it's taking them out of service and taking them away from being able to help other people. So giving them the necessities that they need to be able to stay safe,
Yes.
so they can save others.
And these are our first responders. They're putting their lives on the line every day. You know, they don't know what call they're getting, whether it's a structure fire or a wildfire or what they're fighting that day. But every single day that they wake up, they're putting their life on the line
Or
to
even
make
just
sure we're a little safer.
even just a car accident.
Yes.
You have other people flying by.
Yeah.
We, up in Portland, we met a woman who had lost her husband. You know, he had been pinned between his fire truck and a vehicle that was driving by that just wasn't paying attention, smashed into the back. He saved the other his other firefighters by pushing him out of the way and warning him, but he was smashed. And it's like they're always in that line of, for lack of a better term, fire.
Yeah.
You know, and I this is just me, and it's a hot topic, but you know, I think the gear manufacturers are the biggest problem, and when I think that the gear, too much control is in one area, and a lot of the materials are the same stuff, and I think that's where a lot of the issues are. But again, this is just purely opinion based, but you know, we keep talking about taking better care of ourselves. You know, it's time for the manufacturers to start really giving a crap about us too.
Yeah.
Instead of jacking prices up and trying to make it as difficult as possible for us to buy stuff. You know, there's some great companies out there, and the companies that I feel like we use for my department, I feel like we've done our research, we've vetted it out, we've got the data, we've got the actual information, and so that's what we're going off of. And I feel comfortable with what my guys wear, and I can't speak for everybody else because budgets are tight.
Yes.
Sometimes you just can't buy stuff, and I completely get it. So I'm not trying to disparage or knock any departments or anybody, but I think the biggest issue that we deal with is right now is the gear that we protect, that's designed to protect us. But the other side of it is, are we wearing it correctly?
Yeah. And in that same vein, the gear is as important as where you're going into.
Mm-hmm.
Is that building safe?
Yeah.
Can you get in there safely? Do you know where you're going? And so,
what it's built with, what chemicals are in there that are increasing the fire?
Yes. When was the building built? Does it have proper egress? Are there sprinkler systems?
Yeah.
If a firefighter is going to show up to a fire and put their life on the line, the least we can do is make sure that the building they're entering is not going
to... They're having some sort of reinforcement from the buildings.
Yes, that the building is at least sound enough that they can go in and do their job.
Well, it reminds me, of Black Friday. They go into a building that had been cut up into multiple rooms, and they have that drywall that was blocking the fire.
Yep.
They knock one down, and it just blacks it out in a split second. Like you're saying, like those, if the buildings aren't there to support them as well, then they're going in blind.
Yeah, and these are the people that put their life on the line every day for us to make sure we're safe. Yeah. These are EMS people, firefighters, the ones that you call if something's wrong. And so I think that on top of just making sure that they have the best equipment is making sure that the buildings that they're going into are at least structurally sound enough that they can do their dang job.
And holding it's really about time that some of those the builders are held responsible, because it's gotten pretty damn ridiculous. Of course, when it comes to whether it's being government owned or private owned, I'm always going to go for private owned, because at least there's some advancement. The advancement's faster.
The government has never helped us.
Pretty much.
Didn't Ronald Reagan allude to that?
Yeah.
The government, I'm here to
but
help.
It's like the... but you always run into the profit deal, right?
Yeah.
And they're going to cut costs.
And that's the bottom line for a lot of these people is, why would I upgrade this building?
Yeah.
It's too expensive.
It's too expensive.
It's too expensive.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just take the hit whenever something goes bad.
That's why you have the insurance company. Oh, well, there's a fire. It's like, okay, you as the apartment owner may have to pay like a little bit out of here, but those people that are paying $2,000 to stay at your apartments, they may have like this guy here, $3 million medical bill.
Yep.
Something that is so extraneous. And thank God for insurance. Thank goodness for TRICARE. I don't know where I would be without it. But when it comes down to, you look at the brass tacks of the money, being able to invest in where you live, and if you're owning that building, making sure that it's safer for the people that lay their heads down at night, that's taking care of the future.
Yeah.
That's making sure that the people that are paying you to make sure that it's up to date and up to code are living a good life and are living safely. And I don't think that's too much to ask.
No, and I think that's where a lot of the cities and municipalities need, step up, make sure that their enforcement measures are in place and everything's lined up. But we were talking about, conferences earlier, making sure that if firemen are going to these conferences, that the right information is being put out, right? This isn't a podcast on tactics or anything like that, but being more calculated, being more targeted, understanding, I'm not saying create a safe culture, but be more calculated in the way that we attack certain things. And I think that's where some of these injuries are starting to happen, is that we just get amped up and we get that tunnel vision, just like you do on the battlefield, right? You get that such an inline focus, and you lose the exterior focus and what's really happening, and you lose the bigger picture side of it all.
I was going to ask you, do you think that there's an age deal to it as well? Because I'm guessing that you're always getting an influx of new firefighters, but there's also a lot of old brass that's retiring and getting out. Now you have this new influx.
Yeah.
And
it's younger generation.
Yeah. I think
because I can tell you that's what happened with Kelvin. He would just, it was his first fire, and he just push, and then all of a sudden he's like, shit, it's hot.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, no, I think experience has a lot to play in it too. Like I said, I'm really curious to see what the statistics when they come out. I want to see the true breakdown. But I think experience plays a lot, because we are losing a lot of our older generation, the guys that have seen it before us. Standing on the shoulders.
Yes.
All right. So they laid they laid it out before us, and I think it's important that we listen to these guys, have conversations with our senior leaders, all of our senior men and our officers, that we have an understanding of what it was like before you get on scene like that and you get into that situation. So I think making sure we have those senior men and those company officers who are willing to give that information back, not holding it to themselves, but re-engaging and reinvesting in our new younger members coming in, because the fire service is starting to get young.
Yeah.
I know for us in the North Texas area, sometimes it's very difficult right now to hire people. We have so many vacancies in a lot of departments, a lot of great departments around here that just have vacancies because we just can't fill them, right? People, I don't know if it's just people don't want to work. I don't know what it is. But either way, we have a very young fire service, I think, and I think it's getting younger. And, I think it's something that we're going to have to start addressing. I don't want to see these young guys getting burned. I don't want to see anybody getting burned, especially anybody that's been on the job long enough and they're now having to save one of their own because they got themselves in a perilous situation. So I think education's huge. Again, I keep talking about education. I'm a very big proponent of education.
Knowledge is power.
Of life. Yeah.
And in every regard, when it comes to fire safety, when it comes to someone looking for an apartment to lease, when it comes to a firefighter that knows exactly how to attack a situation, whether it's offensive, defensive, education is key to every aspect of the life that you're going to live, the job you're going to do, and the kind of tactics that you're going to approach problems with. So, educate.
It should never stop.
No, absolutely.
God, no. Never should stop.
And you should, and also I think one of the things that you'll often run into, especially just being male and kind of the ego will get a hold of you, and you're afraid to ask the questions. You want to find it out yourself, and unfortunately sometimes you find out through experience. And so don't be afraid to ask those questions. Don't be afraid to say I don't know and approach other people.
Yep.
There's no such thing as a stupid question.
Hell no, especially whenever you're dealing with that stuff.
Yes, especially when you're in the fire service or EMS or police force and you're like, I'm just ignorant about this. That's a big step, is saying, hey, I'm ignorant about this and I want to learn. That's the first step in becoming a better person.
So I don't know how we've been on time.
We're cutting this one short primarily because we've been doing interviews all day. It's already coming up on 5 here, and I think I still have 2 more interviews to do. But we did want to put a podcast together since we're all in the same room and shoot the shit and have a good time with one.
Very rare that we're all in the same room.
Yeah. It's nice. I'm fine with Zack, but when Landon shows up, it just ruins our party.
They just need me to run the cameras and stuff.
We've never seen him. He's always behind the scenes.
I'm pleading the fifth. I'm just gonna.
Thank you, Zack.
Absolutely.
Really
it's awesome to see you guys. I get excited whenever I hear Zack and DJ are coming to town because one, it's not just Landon and I staring each other's eyes awkwardly. They're beautiful, but his beard is magical, by the way. You can't see this.
Well, now that I don't have hair on top, I need something, right?
Yeah, and he's been working out. It's unbelievable now.
Hey,
But anyways,
at 35, you got to progress.
his
I'm
wife's
38.
sitting in here just laughing and
Yeah, she
smiling right
is.
now.
I think that's why I'm a little bit more of the target, because my wife is
Yeah. No.
They're usually a lot nicer to me, babe. Sort of.
Yeah, sort of.
No, I love when you guys come into town. I always get excited when I just hear what's next for you.
Yeah.
Because I swear to God, I thought I was a busy person. Y'all win. Y'all win.
We're
hands
getting
down.
busy this year. We got Utah coming up, hometown. We're putting on a golf tournament.
Yep.
Our shoot, we got the Sheena's setting up our
Oh,
shoot.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yep.
We got a lot going on
Yeah,
this
then
year.
country for country and
Yes.
stars and
Yep.
stripes, and hopefully we're gonna start planning another golf tournament. And if you're willing to give, please do. We are an organization that is always working at $0 because whatever comes in goes out. So we always constantly need your help, and we need
Yes.
your support.
There's no such thing as too small. The small donations are what get us where we need to go. Gives burn survivors the best life, creates the next generation of safety, and so I'd say to anyone listening, if you're willing and able to, we'd be very, very grateful for anything and everything that you'd be willing to give.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Again, you can find all the donation, everything you want to do, sonsoftheflag.org. Where every dollar goes is tracked. You can see it there. You can contact Landon or Sherry if you decide to or want to host an event, make us a beneficiary.
Okay.
We could certainly send Zack or DJ there, and they will gladly be a part of the event. Or if you want some of us ugly mugs, we'll be there too.
I'll be behind the camera. You won't be able to see my mug.
Yeah. Again, we don't let him out. But
Keep them in a cage.
if you're
I feel
interested,
like Bart's twin brothers is stuck in the attic. I made a pigeon rat.
no, if you guys also join the task force, we're always looking for more individuals. I don't even remember how many states we're in right now. But get a hold of Greg or Landon, and we'll get you taken care of. Find us on all social media. Sorry, I stuttered there. Find us on all social media by typing in @Sons of the Flag. You go to YouTube, see this video. Will this video be up on YouTube?
I need to look, probably.
Yeah.
But it's always going to be on Fire Engineering.
Yeah, Fire Engineering, Blog Talk Radio. We're forever thankful for them allowing us to have our voice be heard. Whether it be on the fire service sometimes. We do a lot with military veterans.
Yes.
Anything service related, we're very empowered by. So we want to show respect to all facets of the service community. But most importantly, Sons of the Flag is all about supporting military veterans, first responders, and civilians that were ever involved with burn injuries. And so that's why we are forever indebted to Fire Engineering for giving us this opportunity. So thank you guys.
Very grateful, yeah.
Any parting words? I know you already kind of said some stuff right there to our donors, but you got anything else, Zach?
Just grateful. We got a golf tournament coming up the weekend of September 11th. Good old San Angelo, Texas. So if you're interested at all, please get in contact with either Sherry, Landon, my mom, or me. I'm going to have Landon put up some information on the screen right now.
Yeah, nice.
But other than that, I
Give
think
me some editing jobs. God, I was like, man, I'm just going to put this together, do the sound, and boom, we're done.
That's awesome.
Now I've got to make sure to minute mark it.
Landon, you got any parting words?
Man, I'm just super stoked about where we're headed, man, and everybody that we're being able to help out. I'm super stoked about Burn Buddies, man. Getting, since that's one of the things that I'm on the outside of. I don't get to hear much about it, but getting to interview Zack and hearing all the different discussions that they're having and the impact that it's having on people's lives is just absolutely massive. And I would really love to get some of them on here that we can interview.
Oh my gosh.
If any of them are comfortable coming on, the more that we can share their stories and the more that we can tell, just the world in general, what y'all go through, what y'all are doing with your lives, how you're overcoming it, and what Sons can do for him is just absolutely massive. And Sons of the Flag I've always been thankful for, and it changed my perspective in life massively whenever I first started working for this organization. So working with Zack, DJ, Sherry, it's a freaking blessing, man. I love what I do.
Don't worry, dude. I'm here. And Justin.
Oh yeah, Venus.
His life changed dramatically in 2017 when I joined.
Planned. Forgetting it was planned.
Yeah, I'm just here, guys. I have the voice, you have the talent, whatever.
And he's probably going to attack me at Country for Country again.
I will carry you again.
Pretty sure it's gonna
No, I just, again, being around you guys is always such a positive thing. life gets tough, and
Yes.
sometimes we don't get to talk like we get to. I hate social media, but I see you guys living an amazing life. We don't live near each other. If anybody wants to know, like I said,
Texas
Zach,
is a pretty big state.
Texas is.
You say you live in Texas, people are like, oh, so do you? It's like, no.
No, I don't.
There's like 5 different states in Texas.
Yes, there is.
No.
No one knows what goes on in the Panhandle.
But I'm just thankful for you guys. I'm thankful for Sherry. I'm thankful for the entire organization. DJ and Zack, you guys are amazing. And this turd right here, Landon. You guys, everything is great. Again, I cannot encourage you enough. Donate, be a part of us, help us out, come to some of our events. sonsoftheflag.org, all social media at Sons of the Flag. So again, thank you guys. Thank you, Fire Engineering Blog Talk Radio. And as we always say, stay safe and keep the mission first.
Like a trusted turnout jacket you've had for years, Flex 7 outer shell fabric delivers a perfectly broken-in feel on the very first wear. Flexible, comfortable, and powered with the strength of enforced technology, Flex 7 outer shell fabric is made to move. To learn more, visit tenkatafabrics.com/flex7. Flex 7, powered by enforced technology. Only from Tenkata Protective Fabrics.
Breathing in diesel exhaust fumes is like walking into a fire without a mask. Over time, those toxins lead to cancer. Protect yourself with MagnaGrip, the easiest, most reliable exhaust removal system that features a true 100% seal to eliminate diesel exhaust fumes. To get free grant assistance, visit magnagrip.com.
IFSTA's Essentials of Firefighting 8th Edition pairs trusted content with their latest research and includes a full suite of support products. Everything you've come to expect from IFSTA and more. It's essential content with unlimited customization potential. To learn more about this manual releasing in August of 2024, visit ifsta.org/essentials.